Oi, boys, welcome to another episode of Oddtakes. This is episode 2. And mate, we got some juicy tea to spill. I said it in the first episode that the NRL off-season typically gets a little spicy, entertaining if you will. And well, this first topic, things get a little snowy in Penrith as Brent Naden tests positive to metabolites of cocaine on the day of the grand final. Crazy stuff. My man must have found out that he got benched for the biggest game of his career and probably thought, stuff it, might as well party early, am I right? No, but all joking aside, the minimal sentence for an offense like this is a minimum 2 years on the sidelines for Naden. But get this, as of 2021, the World Anti-Doping Association, also known as WADA, made changes to reduce the ban length of recreational drug use. So instead of 2 years, the ban could be as little as 1 to 3 months. So we could potentially see Brent Naden back in the NRL in the 2021 season. My whole thoughts on this? Recreational use, honestly, it's quite simple. They are adults. Whatever they choose to do in their spare time is up to them. I don't really have an opinion on it. PEDs though, performance enhancers. I've got 2 things to say. Don't do drugs, kids. Moving along, we've got some transfer news that caught my attention this past week. The greatest New Zealand Rugby League player of all time, Benji Marshall, has been thrown a lucrative Rugby League lifeline from English Super League team Hull FC, said to be worth over 700,000 AUD, Australian dollars, and yeah, I reckon it's good news for Benji, and I believe the deal was only for 1 year, I think. I actually couldn't believe it was worth that much. A lot of questions are floating around, and the most asked question was, is he worth that much this time in his career? And I'm going to hop out on a ledge and say yes, he is. In my opinion, I believe Benji Marshall is iconic in the sport of rugby league. I mean, sure, you won't be getting him at his playing best, but I believe most of his value will come off field. And also, that's no knock on his current playing ability, as I do believe he's still one of the better halves floating around in the NRL today. Like in terms of natural ball playing ability, his footy IQ, his on-field awareness, if you will, his instincts are still there. And let's get real here, boys, it's the Super League. Like, no disrespect with the quality, it's a different level from NRL and Super League. In my opinion, I reckon Benji at his current playing level would carve up in the Super League. Also, another thing to note is that they are being coached by his 2005 grand final winning teammate Brett Hodgson. I mean, if you think about it, the potential signing is kind of a no-brainer. Championship experience. And while we're on the topic of championship, Hull FC haven't been to a grand final since 2006, and they actually haven't won a championship in the modern era of Super League. And that's just a couple of things to think about when players of Benji's caliber, you know, even later on in their career, are offered contracts of this magnitude. You're not giving them that much money just for their current playing ability, you know? Benji's proven, he's been to the top of the mountain, he knows what it feels like to win a championship. I mean, we don't even know if he's actually going to go, but I honestly was just happy to see the amount that they're offering Benji. A couple of other signing news topics, I guess. While we're on Hull FC, they've officially announced the signing of Josh Reynolds. So, I mean, he ain't no Benji Marshall, but I'm a fan of Josh's playing style, actually. Unfortunately, he's been on quite the decline since leaving the Bulldogs, and who knows, maybe a change of scenery will help reignite that fire under him to start playing good again. He's also had tough luck with injuries too, and women, am I right? So that's been made official. He'll be joining former West Tiger Mahe Whanua and also former Parramatta enforcer Manu Mao. So congrats to Hull FC on that signing, and congrats to Josh Reynolds, who has found a new team to play for. And lastly, arguably the hottest rookie since probably since Kalen Ponga. I'm trying to think if there was this much attention for David Fifita, but regardless, it's besides the point. The Sydney Roosters announced the signing of South Sydney Rabbitoh Jr. Joseph Suaalii, and honestly, for the amount of attention he's getting, I'm not seeing the hype. I mean, it's kind of hard to judge off the few videos I've seen, but yeah, I'm keen to see him actually get a run in the NRL. I mean, apparently he won't be able to play until the year 2022, as he's still currently contracted to the Rabbitohs this season, and I don't think they'll be giving him a run anytime soon unless they release him to the Roosters early. But yeah, congrats to Joseph Suaalii on scoring that Roosters deal. I mean, it even got to a point where Rugby Union were chasing him. It's tricky, it's kind of hard to gauge how well they'll do in the actual NRL off these little schoolboy highlights. I mean, even from Kalen Ponga's schoolboy highlights, Dave Fifita's highlights, if I'm comparing their junior highlight reels to this Joseph Suoli'i's little highlight reel as well, I could kind of see why there was a lot of hype behind Ponga and Fafita. Suoli'i on the other hand, yeah, I don't know, I'm just not seeing it, eh? One big thing that does stand out about him though is that frame. He's got that, like, it's hard to explain, that god tier type frame, like the Tommy Turbos, the Izzy Folau's, you know, they're kind of like, they're long, lean and athletic looking. You can just picture what he'd look like in a few years time when his body's fully developed, because remember, he's only like 17 or something like that. But yeah, like I said, congrats. I can't wait to see him finally get to play a game. And yeah, that'll pretty much wrap up this episode of Odd Takes. As always, if you'd like to see more of these little rugby league content pieces, be sure to run up the likes, hit up the comment sections and whatnot. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you later.
Knocker, I only do it proper. Gang like coppers, or change when we rock up. Notorious in the 8, but I ain't talking big popper. Like a high speed chase, I follow with the chopper. Brah, bop, bopper, too sick, need a doctor. I only take an offer if all my usos prosper. Tryna make moves to it all.